Hi guys, Charlie Tango 1 coming at you here again with another short video. Back on this boiling thing, I'm trying to get some heat resistant paint and I'm trying to check it out. I've made inquiries on various companies, and on this bit of tin, I think it's galvanised actually, I've actually got some, I've sprayed some silver. Bear with me, I'll show you it. Oh, it's this one here. It's that one there, and as it says, heat resistant and all that. So I thought I'd try it, because I tried it on hammerite, smooth hammerite, and put it under the heat for a little while to see if I can base it from his Trangia stove. Cookware. Weren't long. Oh, and this is what happened. Let's see, can you see it? Yeah, I think you can. It's a dark green, but I'll just make sure I've got it. There it is, there, centre of the screen. Started bubbling, didn't take long before it done that. So I thought, right, I'll try this heat resistant one now. So that one was out the window. I was hoping to use some hammerite smooth, because it really does go on lovely. Right, now what I found is a little tip, something you might find interesting. The Tatonka meth stove. You get a framework with it. Oh, there you go. Bear with me. You get a framework with it. I'll put them back on later. There you can see. Okay. That's what you get. They're not tight in there. They're not tight in the holes when you put the legs on. And they're flat one side. This bit of metal is flat one side because it goes up that way, and slips up in there like so, which I thought was very handy, because this Trangia, or whatever you want to call it, slips through there. Slips through there, like so. No, come back a bit. Where are we? There. Just slips through. It goes lovely. Or you can just put it straight down on it. Leg keeps falling off. I might just nip that up to make that grip a little bit. But anyway, there. Are we on? Yeah, we're on. There we go. Excuse me sniffing. Right, so that's that little baby done. I just trying to make sure it's in camera shot. No, it's not. It's got to come this way, isn't it? That's it. And what I found is that it keeps it steady like that. But then I cheated a little bit, and I put making a pig's ear of this. Sorry about this, people. I mean, not very professional, is it? I put a little bit of leather down the side of it, really, because I didn't want it to. I didn't want it to go through. Where are we? I think what I'll do is I'll cut this bit of leather. Cut that bit of leather. I'm going to put one on one side and one on the other. Sorry, I'm, I'm muttering, aren't I? Let's start again. That's the only leg that don't want to come out, isn't it? Right, that's going to go in there, and that's going to go in there. And the only reason I'm doing that is I don't want it to go, so I hope you can see, I don't want it to go all the way down. And you were saying, yeah, you were saying, yeah, and that's going to burn that. It won't burn it. Let's just make sure I've got it up in there. That's all I want to do. Right, here we go again. The reason being I'm doing that, this is just a for me to hold this thing up here, really, is I want this sweet spot from the top here down to the jets. So I'll swing that in there like that, or it could be like that. No, it's like that, and all I'm going to do is cut that. Silly, wasn't it? Oh. I'm going to leave it at that, because I'm just messing about, isn't it, really? It's just get on with it, get on with it. Now this Trangia stove, it's a copy, it's a knockoff one, and it's got all the little digits on the bottom. Now it comes with a snuffing cap and closing cap and nice rubber seal in there. But word of warning with this, when you screw this cap on, looks very much like the Trangia one, but when you screw it on and then you snap the snuffing lid on it, like so, when you put that on, you go to take it off to undo this. You go to take it off to undo this. What happens is the lid comes off with this all in one, and yet you haven't unscrewed it, but it all comes off. Just a small little pointer that I noticed, because it's happened to me twice now, so it's obviously pretty common. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, the idea is I'm just trying to test this paint. So I'll put a bit of meths in here. I'll put quite a bit in because I want it to go up to the top of the wick. I mean, when it's cooled down, I should just put the rest back in the bottle. Right, so I now got. Where's it gone? Oh, there it's gone in there again. There we go. Excuse me, I've got frog in my throat. Got people struggling like that to put it with the lighter in there. All you've got to do is have to find a little bit of stick, a twig, anything like that. Just dink it in there like that and then do that. Simple, isn't it? But you see, all struggling like this, trying to get it alight. Oh, right, okay. I'm going to wait for that to plume up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on there, see? But I'm going to do it silver side down, because I want to see if it'll if that'll bubble up or not. There is one they got on the old wrought iron fireplaces and grates and all that, and I've just ordered a can of it because it says you can spray it on the cinder grate and everything else, and it withstands some colossal temperature. And I thought, well, if you're using it on the cinder grate, that's direct heat on there, and it doesn't discolour, it just remains black. But you can only get it in black. So there we go. Let me just whop the light out and see how we're going here. It's trying to bloom up, isn't it? Let's put this one on. Does that help? I don't want to put too much light on it really. It's like watching paint dry, isn't it? But yeah, I was just trying to I'm experimenting it. It's the heat resistant paint I want, and the reason I want it, I'll show you while that's pluming up. I showed this on a video the other day. Brand new, unused in big capital letters. Right, unused, and you can see it is unused, but it's that greeny grey sort of colour. It's an aluminium one, but it's got a few, there's no dings on it, it's just scratches and everything else, and as I said the other day, I don't like things like that, so what I do is I like to you know, I like to paint them up like. Done my other one. I'll finish that now. That's a Brahma, that is. Well, that's plumed up there, so let's get this on there. Like so. And whack the kettle on as well. While we're at it, just to hold it there. Yep, I'll show you that, if you might be able to see that. No, you can't. But it's got a lovely it's got a lovely little funnel to it. But I'm going to have to look underneath to see what's happening. And at the moment, it seems to be standing on its own. It's let's just take it off and move it over a touch. You've got that nice little 1 inch sweet spot there. It's really coming up nice and straight, and then as soon as it hits a pot, it's coming out. So it's a nice distance. I'm starting to smell paint. Maybe that's because it's new. I sprayed it this morning. I've done it quite early. I think it was about 7 o'clock this morning. I think I've done, because I'm an early bird, me. And so I thought, well, I'll spray that, and I've left it outside to let it really go off. Well, usually these Trangias, you get they usually come with a sort of nice little belt thing, you know, to go around, and that's what that's what this is for. This little loop thing here. Can you see it? That little loop thing. That's what it's for. You know, you can either hook that down there, hook it up there. You can't see it. Hook it up there like that, and then you can put your belt through there. But you've got to pick it up in one unit if you do that. So, you know, you might favour leaving the handle out and just putting the belt round there, but I can't see the point of putting the belt round. The only reason it's there is just to keep this lid on, really, once it's in place. Sorry, you can't see it. Once it holds this lid on when you put the belt through there, but other than that I can't see the point of the belt really, other than looking pretty. But you know, you've got to remember, this is a cook set for during the war. I mean, they ain't gonna have anything looking pretty, are they? But as I say, saying that, I like things to look neat. Let's have a look at this. Well, that's actually doing the job. It's not pickling up or anything. But I'll tell you what it is doing. I bet you that green stuff's melting. It stick to the bottom of the pan. No, it ain't. All right, tell a lie. it looks like that silver's working. So, but as always, they restrict the colours that they use. So, and I wanted a green one, really, like this metal I've sprayed here. I wanted a sort of green, and that's purely for this Trangia cookware. As I say, it's I just don't like that colour. The base of it, the tin. What have we done with the tin? I sprayed that, and I sprayed that in. Oh, I'll go and bring it in. Actually, I know it is. Bear with me 1 second. I've done it the same. I'm back again. Same as the stainless steel one. So I thought I'd just spray that one. That's alright, it's shiny. The other one really is like a sheen finish, but it does look better. Sprayed that this morning. That's bone dry now, so I can leave it in here. Just left it outside to weather a bit. But it looks nice, and the stainless steel one, when together, they do look nice as well. What have I done with that one? Oh, I'll put that in the other shed. Yeah, so, you know, there you go. It's horses for courses. But if I get that green paint, heat resistant, doing the job that this silver paint's doing, I'll be laughing. I can paint this this messed canteen set. I can spray that with that. It'll just look better. It's aluminium, but and I should think it'll come off easy. But that's obviously heat resistant because you know, you put it on directly under the flame. But what I did notice on the bottom of the cook pan, the base one, the main one, on that stainless steel, that was as well cooked on there. You know, it was getting a bit sort of really dark brown, come blackish, and it took a couple of coats of nitramals to get it off. But it did come off with a little. I used a toothbrush to rub it in, and then when it had been overnight, I used a little wire bronze brush that you use for cleaning your suede shoes, actually, and that takes it off nicely without scratching the metalwork. Apart from the smell of paint, that's all that. Apart from the smell of paint, that seems to be doing. Yeah, that's what it is. It's that paint underneath. There we go. There's he's put a bit of a singe there. But you know, we can live with that, can't we? I mean, for Christ's sake, it's direct heat. But it's, as you see, it's pickled. It has pickled. I don't know if it's showing up there because it's showing as a shiny. Anyway, that's what it's done. It's made it pickle on that green stuff, so I can't use that. But I'm happy with that one. You know, so I've sprayed it right away along from here, right away down, and all we got is that brown mark there. So I'm happy with that, and this was nearly on the point. Well, it wouldn't have boiled that quick because no, that weren't on the point of boiling because that metal plate was there. But normally that wouldn't be there. So let's snuff this out without further ado. There we go. And if that goes on there, it snaps on all right. It does snap on all right, but I'm not going to snap it on because when this comes off with the lid, you're only pulling this off, but the lid comes off with it, if you get my drift. And then you've got to try and put it back on the Trangia and screw the lid back on. So what it's doing is it's overriding the thread and just pulling straight off. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't reduce it, but that's just worth bearing in mind when you go to get one of these meth stoves. And as I say, this was a cheapie. I got it. It was I got it on eBay. I thought it was all right. It was just a cheap one. It'd do me a turn. Oh no, it came with something second hand. It was, because the bottom's a bit dented up, and I thought, well, how the hell have they done that? So I'm just looking for something. Here it is, a funnel. So I thought, how on earth have they done that? I just get a bit of gloves, because that's going to be a bit warm. And the idea is you take this off and it all falls to pieces. There we go, there's one. That's it, put that over there now, because I was just doing an experiment with that, because I wanted to see. I just pour it in there like so. Now a lot of people, they let it cool down and then they put the lid on. And there was a video of some chap saying, a lot of people don't know this, he was saying, that you put a dear little bit of water, like 2 or 3 drips, look more or less, from a tap into your Trangia when you got your meths in there, and it stops it sooting up. Sorry mate, but pigs fly as well, don't they? This methylated spirits has already got, it's a water base, so it's already got water in it. Not a lot, but it's got water in it. And when you see them dry up, when you've virtually burnt out the meths, what's left is a dear little bit of water in the bottom. You know, so really there's no need to add water to it, it's already done. So I'll take that off now, because I don't need that on there now, do I? Anyway, so they let it cool down with the meths in, screw the lid back on, screw it like crazy so this seals. You don't have to screw it mega tight, just enough, you know, tighten it up a little bit, turn it upside down. If it ain't leaking, that's tight enough, isn't it? That way it preserves the rubber washer a lot longer. But as I said, because this actually does hold a very small amount of water, what does water do to metal of any form? Accelerates the rusting period, doesn't it? And that's what happens there. And if you look down in these pots, some of these you have a little hole, one either side, which is for the meths to soak through to soak the wick. And you look round them holes, that's the first place they rust up. So just a little thought for you to consider when doing these meths. I personally empty the mess right out back into the bottle, unless of course you're still out camping, you're having a 2-nighter or something, then yeah, let it cool down and pop the lid on, and because you're going to use it the next day, that's fine. But when you're not and it's in storage, empty it out. Just empty it out. Look, I mean, I've done some burns on that, and look at the jets on that. Look, do they look sooted up? And all I've used is meths. And another little secret I'll let you into, you can mix the meths, if you want, with surgical spirit, and that will make it burn clean. And I think it makes it burn a little hotter as well, if I'm not wrong. But I done one the other day, and oh, it was brilliant. It really does give a good cooking speed. This particular one, I think I boiled that kettle, which has got a pint, 1 mug of water in. I think it done it in 6 minutes. Now this is the one that was a bit chewed at the bottom, as you can see. I don't know what the hell he's done with that, but unless he's been banging it on rocks or something, but it's a bit chewed up. But always remember these ones, see these ones here with these are the rip-off ones. So you want the one that's got the T on it, the Trangia. You know, you're only paying a couple of quid more. So why you're penny pinching really, because at the end of the day it'll either leak, and then you got to sweat joint it under here in this joint. You got to put some flux in there, clean that up, and then you've got to run some solder in there on a very low heat for it to run round. Just do it slightly at an angle, so, and then do it in the back, and then you'll see it run round. But who wants to be messing about with all that? I'm not gonna go any further into that, but it's all nice and cool, and there, it screws on about one turn. Now it's on there, but you can feel there is a bit of movement on that thread. Now people tend to think, oh well, I'll tighten it a bit tighter then because it ain't going to seal, and that's when what happens is the lid splits. But another common fault with them is, on any of the Trangias that is, you put that lid on hot, what it does actually create is a vacuum inside, and it sucks that lid, and that's what makes it split right on the rib, right at the very bottom of the rib there. It cracks, and that's why it's done it, because it's been put on hot. But you'd be surprised, as I mean, as I see watching a video the other day, a chap doing one with one of these, like, and to be quite honest, I'm sorry mate, I don't know who you are, but you hadn't got a clue what you was doing. All he was going to do is light the Trangia and put a pot of water on it, and he's got a windbreak, and I'll show you with a bit of tissue, two tissues. He got a bit of windbreak foil, it was, and he's got this foil around his kettle like this, right? He's put it right round there like that. There's no holes in the foil, so the Trangia can't get in here from anywhere. So what does it do? It creates a chimney. So then you get a vortex in there. And he said, oh, it's flaring up. I don't know why it's doing all that. I thought, because it can't get no air, so it's got to go upwards. And that's what it done. I thought, you really need to look at a few videos, mate, before you, you know, start playing around with the stuff. Understand it first before you start fiddling around with it. It's the same when you top up a gas bottle with another gas bottle with this fitting that I've got here. These little fittings, brilliant little thing it is, absolutely brilliant. But you've got to remember to put the one you want to top up, put it in the freezer for an hour or so, leave the other one outside here, you know, and then bring the cold one in there, screw that on, get the bottle that's been out in room temperature, screw that onto it, open the valve, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and you filled up. And on the bottom of the gas bowl, put the weight. It says on the bottle how much in grams it's supposed to be in total, including the actual canister. So as I say, it's not rocket science, it's just using the nozzle really. But anyway, I think that's enough ranting on there. I've gone into overdrive, haven't I? So, and these are the Trangia. No, they're not. They're the pot bottoms of this